Sylvia Plath by Jennifer Hines. Sylvia Plath was born on October 27, 1932 in Boston. At the age of 8, she was already experiencing a struggle, as seen with her relationship with her father. Her father passed away in 1940, and this event changed how she saw the world and how she wrote her poetry. Her most vivid poems came from the darkest times of her life, including Daddy, which came from her troubled relationship with her father. Sylvia Plath was a gifted student who had won numerous awards and had published stories and poetry in national magazines while still in her teens. She attended Smith College on scholarship and continued to excel, winning a Mademoiselle fiction contest 1 year after garnering a prestigious guest editorship of a magazine the following summer. During her undergraduate years, Plath began to suffer the symptoms of severe depression and undiagnosed bipolar disorder. In August of 1953, at the age of 19, Plath attempted suicide by swallowing sleeping pills. She survived the attempt and was hospitalized. She received electroshock therapy for treatment. Her experiences of the breakdown and recovery were later turned into a fictional book, published novel, The Bell Jar. Later on, she met Ted Hughes, and they were married in 1956. Her marriage ended in 1962 after Hughes was unfaithful and left Plath with 2 young children to care for. She spent that winter in a deep depression where she wrote intensively through the bitter cold. Shortly after, she committed suicide by inhaling gas from a kitchen oven. Feminists have portrayed Plath as a woman driven to madness by a domineering father, an unfaithful husband, and the demands that motherhood made on her genius. Plath was known for her autobiographical style of poetry. She is often associated with the confessional movement and is often compared to poets Lowell and Anne Sexton. Plath was the first poet ever to win a Pulitzer Prize. She had been stimulated by such writers such as James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, Henry James, Emily Dickinson, and later on by Robert Lowell and Anne Sexton. She has been linked with Lowell and Sexton as members of the so-called confessional school of poetry. Sylvia Plath was one of the most dynamic poets of the 20th century. Whether she wrote about nature or about the social restrictions on individuals, she stepped away from the polite veneer. She let her writing express elemental forces and primal fears. In doing so, she laid bare the contradictions that tore apart appearance and hinted at some of the tensions hovering just beneath the surface of the American way of life in our post-war period, as stated by Margaret Reese. Now for this presentation, I have chose 5 different poems that I feel reflect her intensity and style of writing. The first one I will be reading is called Daddy. You do not do any more, black shoe, in which I have lived like a foot for 30 years, poor and white, barely daring to breathe or chew. Daddy, I have had to kill you. You died before I had time. Marble heavy, a bag full of God, ghastly statue with 1 gray toe, big as a Frisco seal, and a head in the freakish Atlantic, where it pours bean green over blue, in the waters off beautiful Nauset. I used to pray to recover you, a chew-do. In the German tongue, in the polished town, scrapped flat by the roller of wars. By the name of the town is common, my Pollock friend says there are a dozen or 2, so I never could tell where you put your foot, your root. I never could talk to you. Tongue stuck in my jaw. It's stuck in a barbed snare. Itch, 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 itch. I could hardly speak. I thought every German was you, and the language obscene. An engine, chuffing me off like a Jew to de chew, Auschwitz, Belsen. I begin to talk like a Jew. I think I may well be a Jew. The snows of the Tyrol, the clear beer of Vienna, are not very pure or true. With my gypsy ancestress and my weird luck, and my Turok pack, I may be a bit of a Jew. I have always been scared of you. With your Luftwaffe, your gobbledygook, and your neat mustache, and your errant eye, bright blue. Panzerman, oh you. Not God, but a swastika, so black no sky could squeak through. Every woman adores a facet, the boot in the face, the brute heart of a brute like you. You stand at the blackboard, Daddy, in the picture I have of you, a cleft in your chin instead of your foot, but no less a devil for that. No, not any less the black man who bit my pretty red heart into two. I was 10 when they buried you. At 20 I tried to die and get back to you. I thought even the bones would do, but they pulled me out of the sack and they stuck me together with glue. And then I knew what to do. I made a model of you, a man in black with the Meine Kampf look, and a love of the rack and the screw. And I said I do. So, Daddy, I'm finally through. The black telephone's off at the root. The voices just can't warm through. If I've killed one man, I've killed two. The vampire who said he was you, and drank my blood for a year, 7 years, if you want to know. Daddy, you can lie back now. There's a stake in your fat black heart, and the villagers never liked you. They are dancing and stamping on you. They always knew it was you. Daddy, you bastard, I'm through. Second one I will be reading is Lady Lazarus. I have done it again. 1 year in every 10, I manage it. A sort of walking miracle in my skin, bright as a Nazi lampshade, my right foot. A paperweight, my face, a featureless, fine Jew linen. Peel off the napkin, oh my enemy, do I terrify? The nose, the eye pits, the full set of teeth, the sour breath will vanish in a day. Soon the flesh, the grave cave ate, will be at home on me. And I, a smiling woman, I am only 30, and like the cat, I have 9 times to die. This is number 3. What a trash to annihilate each decade. What a million filaments the peanut-crunching crowd shoves in to see them unwrap me hand and foot. The big striptease. Gentlemen, ladies, these are my hands, my knees. I may be skin and bone. Nevertheless, I am the same, identical woman. The first time it happened, I was 10. It was an accident. The second time, I meant it, to last it out and not come back at all. I rocked shut. As a seashell, they had to call and pick the worms off me like sticky pearls. Dying is an art, like everything else. I do it exceptionally well. I do it so it feels like hell. I do it so it feels real. I guess you could say I've got a call. It's easy enough to do in a cell. It's easy enough to do it and stay put. It's the theatrical. Come back in broad day to the same place, to the same face, the same brute, and you shout, a miracle that knocks me out. There is no charge. For the eyeing of my scars, there is a charge. For the hearing of my heart, it really goes. And there is a charge, a very large charge, for a word, or a touch, or a bit of blood, or a piece of my hair or my clothes. So, her doctor, so her enemy. I am your opus. I am your valuable, the pure gold baby that melts to a shriek. I turn and burn. Do not think I underestimate your great concern. Ash, you poke and stir. Flesh and bone, there is nothing there. A cake of soap, a wedding ring, a gold filling. Her God, her Lucifer, beware, beware. Out of the ash I rise with my red hair. Okay, and the next one I'll be reading is A Lesson in Vengeance. In the dour ages of drafty cells and draftier castles, of dragons breathing without the frame fables, saint and keen unfisted, obstruction's knuckles, by no miracle or majestic means, but by such abuse as smack of spite and the over-scrupulous twisting of thumbscrews, one soul tried in sinews. One white horse drowned, and all the unconquered pinnacles of God's city and Babylon's. Must wait while here Susos hand hones his tacks and needles, scouring to score his own red sluices. For the relish of heaven, relentless, dousing with prickles of horsehair and lice his horny loins, where there irate Cyrus, squanders the summer and the brawl of his heroes. To rebuke the horse-swallowing river Gines, he split it into 360 trickles. A girl could wade without wetting her shins. Still later day sages, smiling at his behavior, subjugating their enemies neatly, nicely, by disbelief or bridges, never grip, as their grandsires did, that devil who chuckles from grain of the marrow of the red river bed grains. The next one is Ariel. Status in darkness, then the substance is blue, pour of a tour and distances. God's lioness, how one we grow, pivot of heels and knees, the furrow, splits and passes, sisters too, the brown arc of the neck I cannot catch, nigger eye, berries cast dark hooks, black sweet blood mouthfuls, shadows, something else, hauls me through the air, thighs, hair, flakes on my heels, white, Godiva, eye and peel, dead hands, dead stringencies, and now I foam to wheat, a glitter of seas, the child's cry, melts in the wall, and I am the arrow, the dew that flies suicidal at one of the dive into the red, I the cauldron of the morning. Morning song is the next one. Love sets you going like a fat gold watch. The midwife slapped your footsoles, and your bald cry took its place among the elements. Our voices echoed, magnifying your arrival. New stature in a drafty museum, your nakedness shadows our safety. We stand round blankly as walls. I'm no more your mother than the cloud that distills a mirror to reflect its own slow enfastment at the wind's hand. All night your mouth breathed, flickers among the flat pink roses. I wake to listen, a far sea moves in my ear. One cry and I stumble from bed, cow heavy and floral in my Victorian nightgown. Your mouth opens, clean as a cat's. The window square whitens and swallows its dull stars. And now you try your handful of notes. The clear vowels rise like balloons. And lastly, my poem that represents Sylvia Plath's style. I feel as though this winter will never end. Its icy cold breath just holds me down into a despair only I can create. For I have clawed my way out before. However, this time it feels that nevermore will I ever feel the warmth of the summer sun, or the caress of the petals on the rose's stem. The gates of hell consume my mind. Cold, icy grayness is all I find. Torn and wretched, demanded and hated, used for a body and as a caretaker. My desires never to come full circle. The gates of hell have opened up to welcome me in. For my mind is a wonderland of pain and torture. This cold and unforgiving winter will never leave me. Despair and anguish on my grave. That end. Thank you for watching.